Hey there. Think about the last time you saw a warning label on some chemical at work. Did you really get what it was trying to tell you? Today, we're going to decode all those symbols and show you why understanding them isn't just about following rules. It's about keeping yourself, your coworkers, and the environment safe. So what's the big deal, right? I mean, what really happens when a simple label is misunderstood or maybe worse, just ignored? You might think it's a small thing, but honestly, the consequences can be, well, pretty devastating. And look, this isn't some hypothetical what if. This is a real story from Gurugram. A single, simple mistake in classifying a chemical at an electroplating unit meant real people were exposed to harm, and the local environment took a serious hit. This is exactly why getting these labels right isn't just another task on a checklist. It's a critical responsibility. So how do we stop something like what happened in Gurugram from ever happening again? Well, it all starts with two really simple but incredibly important ideas. These are the absolute bedrock of chemical safety. Let's break them down. First up, we've got identification. You can think of this as like the spidey sense of chemical safety. It's that first crucial moment. You look at a container and a little alarm bell goes off in your head that says, whoa, okay, I need to be careful with this one. It's just recognizing that a potential danger exists. But here's where it gets really important. Identification is step one, for sure, but classification, that takes it to a whole other level. See, it's not enough to just know something is dangerous. You have to know how it's dangerous. Is it going to catch fire? Is it corrosive? Could it be toxic? Classification gives us a standardized language to understand the specific kind of risk we're dealing with. Okay, so we've got the basics down. We identify a hazard, then we classify it. Now let's dive into how these ideas are actually put into action. How do we turn these concepts into real-world systems that protect people every single day? Well, in India, this isn't just a friendly suggestion, it's the law. We've got major regulations, from the Foundational Factories Act all the way to the more recent OSHA Code of 2020. These provide the legal backbone for keeping workers safe. Think of them less as documents and more as shields. Now take a look at this number right here, 29. Any guesses what that represents? It's not random, I'll tell you that. That is the number of broad industry categories in India that are legally designated as involving hazardous processes. That's a huge number of workplaces where this stuff is absolutely critical. And just look at this list. This really drives the point home. We're not talking about a couple of small niche industries here. This covers massive sectors, from petrochemicals to pharmaceuticals, from the paint on your walls to the steel in buildings. The reach of these safety rules is enormous, and the risks they're designed to handle are very, very real. Okay, but think about it. With so many chemicals crossing borders and so many different local regulations, how on earth do we make sure a warning label from one country is instantly understood in another? The answer is pretty cool, actually. We created a universal language for chemical safety. I love this analogy because it's just perfect. The Globally Harmonized System, or GHS, is basically the world's traffic light system for chemicals. A red stop sign means stop, everywhere, right? Same idea. A GHS symbol for flammable is understood from Mumbai to Miami. It just cuts through the noise and the language barriers to keep everyone safe. So how does this GHS magic work? It's brilliantly simple. It groups every chemical hazard into three main categories. First, you have physical hazards, things that can burn, explode, or are under pressure. You see those pictograms? No mistaking what they mean. Then you have health hazards, using symbols you just can't ignore, like the skull and crossbones. And finally, environmental hazards, with that really clear image of harm to nature. It's a visual shortcut to danger. Have you ever noticed the words danger or warning on a label and wondered what the difference is? Well, they're not interchangeable. It's a super quick way to gauge the threat level. If you see danger, you're dealing with a more severe, high-level hazard. Warning signals a less severe but still important risk. It's a simple system that tells you what you're up against in a split second. All right, we've talked about the systems, the symbols, the whole shebang. But how do you actually use all this in your day-to-day work? Let's get really practical here with a simple checklist you can run through every single time you handle a chemical. Here it is, a 4-step check that should just become second nature. Number 1. Review. Check the label and its best friend, the safety data sheet. Number 2, verify. Make sure the chemical you're holding is the one you're supposed to be using. Number 3, follow. Stick to every single handling and storage rule, to the letter. And finally, number 4, be prepared. Know the emergency plan before you ever need it. And remember, the label is just your first clue. Your own experience, your own knowledge of the process, that stuff is priceless. You've also got other tools in the toolbox, like international chemical safety cards and, probably most important of all, your own workplace's risk assessments. Use everything you've got to get the full picture. So, we have this fantastic global system in place. But that raises a pretty big question. How well is it actually working on the ground? Let's wrap this up by taking a clear-eyed look at the future of chemical safety in India, the challenges, and the path forward. And, we have to be realistic here. It's not a perfect system yet. There are still some real hurdles to overcome in India. We're talking about things like spotty safety data sheets, language barriers that make training tough, and just not having enough resources for enforcement. These are real issues that need real solutions. But here is the really good news. India is absolutely moving in the right direction. As you can see, new regulations are in the works to officially bring the entire country in line with that universal GHS standard. This is a massive step forward, and it's going to make a huge difference for worker safety. So when you boil it all down, the tools are there, the knowledge is there, the laws are there. The systems for safety exist, which leaves us with one last, really important question. I want you to think about your own workplace. Are you and the people you work with really using these systems to their full potential? The power to prevent the next accident, it's in your hands.